live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. You are connected to this live streaming from wherever you are. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, the last of the Sutra 111. And also, today, 14th of August, is the Samadhi day of Lalaji. So I will speak on the two aspects of it. So first, the Sutra. Whatsoever is in the existence is just a phenomenon of consciousness, just a wave. Just as on the surface of the ocean, like a wave, you came into existence one day, then as your process of transformation, evolution continued, you dissolve in the vastness of the ocean. And then it seems as if that the severest of storms have found the shore. जिंदगी के समंदर में उठा था एक दिन लहरों सा. One day I rose like a wave on the surface of the ocean of life. मिट आज चला सागर की गहराई में. Today disappeared in the vastness of the ocean. रह गई एक खामोशी सी हर मौज में. There is now serenity and bliss in every state of life. हर मौज में तूफानों को जैसे साहिल मिल गया हर रहगुजर में. It seems as if every circumstance and situation has found a shore. Everything is just a phenomena of consciousness, a wave, just a crystallization. Wave is a crystallization of this consciousness and nothing else exists. But it has to be felt. It has to be realized and then lived. Analysis can be helpful. Intellectual understanding can also be helpful, but it has to be lived. Whatsoever I am talking about is at the level, it covers certain levels. Certainly, while you are listening to this, sometimes you disappear. You are drowned. So it is not just words are flowing. With the words comes the energy. So it has to be felt that nothing else exists except consciousness. Then behave as if only consciousness exists. I have heard about a Zen master Linchi. One day he was sitting in his hut. A man came. He was angry for whatever reasons, but anger was expressing through his face, through his gesture. At times when someone comes, there is an expression of emotional disturbance on the person. Out of culture, we hide anger and other things, but the emotional disturbance seems prominent in almost everyone. For whatever reason, he was angry. As he pushed open the door and he threw his shoes in anger, like you fling your shoes. And then respectfully he bowed down to Linchi. Linchi said, first go and ask the forgiveness from the door and the shoes. Hearing this, everyone sitting there began to laugh. The man felt embarrassed. Lynchy addressed the crowd, "Stop," and then said to the man, "If you do not do it, do not ask forgiveness from the door and the shoes, then you can leave. I will have nothing to do with you." The man said, "It looks crazy to ask forgiveness from the shoes and the door." Lynchy said, "Was it not crazy when you expressed anger on the door and the shoes? Will it be now crazy to ask for forgiveness? Everything has a consciousness. Maybe the state may differ. So go, and unless the door forgives you, I am not going to allow you in." The man felt awkward. He had no other choice. He had to go. And when he asked for forgiveness from the door and the shoes, something happened deep within. And later on, he became a monk himself and attained to enlightenment. When he became enlightened, he related the whole incident and he said, "When I stood before the door asking for forgiveness, I felt awkward. Everyone who is unconscious feels so. But then I thought, if Lynchy says so, there must be something in it. I trusted Lynchy. How many of you trust the master when he says something to you? You feel awkward. You feel that he should have not asked this thing. Trust is the beginning of the journey of intimacy and transformation within. But then I thought, if Lynchy says so, there must be something in it. I trusted Lynchy, so I thought that even if it was foolish to do it, in the beginning, whatsoever I was saying to the door, and he said that he would watch. If the door forgive me, only then could I come in. Otherwise, so Lynchy said, you will be asking for forgiveness, I'll be looking at you. And if the door forgives you, you can come in. I was saying to the door, whatsoever I was saying to the door was superficial, artificial. But by and by, I started to feel warmth, and Lynchy was waiting, and he said he would watch. If the door forgave me, only then he would allow me to come in. Otherwise, I had to stay there until I had persuaded the door and the shoes to forgive me. By and by, warmth descended. I became warm. I forget that many people were looking at me, or someone was looking at me. I forgot about Lynchy, and then concern became sincere and real. I started to feel the presence, the consciousness in the door and the shoes, and that changed my mood. And the moment I realized the door and the shoes had changed and they were feeling happy, Lynchy immediately said that I could come in. I had been forgiven. This incident became a transforming phenomenon in his life, because for the first time he became aware that everything is really a crystallization of consciousness. Everything is crystallization of consciousness, if you cannot see, it is because you are blind. If you cannot hear, it means you are deaf. There is nothing that matters with things around you. Everything is condensed consciousness. Problem is with you. You are not open and sensitive. The teaching, the sutra says, this consciousness exists as each being and nothing else exists. Live with this notion. Be sensitive to this. And whenever and wherever you move with this mind and this heart, that everything is consciousness and nothing else exists, sooner or later the world will change its face and your approach towards everything will change. Sooner or later objects disappear, persons starts appearing everywhere. Sooner or later the whole world will be suddenly illumined and you will know that you were living in a world of dead things earlier just because of your insensitivity. Otherwise everything is alive. Not only alive, everything is conscious. Everything deep down is nothing but consciousness. Nothing but consciousness, and everything, the matter, the body, the outer body, that will disappear one day. It is a vehicle. Vehicle is used to transport yourself from one place to another. The only purpose of the vehicle is to carry you from one place to another. So too is the case with the body. Body takes you from one stage of stage in the process of transformation to another. Nothing else is its purpose. Then there is pranavayu, the life force, the orgone, the Alan White, and that is the second layer. This is crystallization of consciousness. Below that, at the deepest core, there is consciousness, and that consciousness is one and same. Everything deep down is nothing but consciousness. But if you leave this as a theory, if you believe in the theory and the falseness of the body, the life force, then you are far away. You will have to make it a way of life, a style of living, behaving as if everything is conscious. In the beginning, it will be as if, and you will feel foolishness. You will feel awkward as this monk, the person felt. But if you can persist with your foolishness, with your awkwardness, and if you can dare to be foolish, soon the world will start appearing for you in a different way. Science is not only the methodology to use to enter the mysteries of existence. Really, it is the crudest methodology, the slowest. A mystic can enter existence this very moment. Science will take millions of years to penetrate that much. Upanishad says the world is illusory, that matter is illusory. Only after 5,000 years, science says now that matter is illusory, everything is energy. The Upanishad says that deep down energy is conscious. Deep down the energy is conscious. If you can hear, if you can feel that energy. Science will take another 5,000 years more to experience that energy is alive. Mysticism is a jump. Science is a very slow movement. The intellect cannot jump. It has to argue that this is not right, that is not right. It will go into such things. Argue every fact, prove, disapprove, experiment, but the heart can jump immediately. Remember, for the intellect, a process is necessary. Then comes the conclusion, process first, and this is followed by conclusion, logical. For heart, conclusion comes first. I agree to delve into this. For heart, conclusion comes first and then the process follows. It is just the reverse. That's why mystics cannot prove anything. They have the conclusion, but they don't have the process. Process follows afterwards. You may not be aware, you may not have noticed that mystics simply talk about conclusions. If you read the Upanishads, you will find the conclusions. When for the first time they were translated into Western languages, Western philosophers could not understand this point. And this morning someone acknowledged that while reading Bhagavad Gita, she could not understand then why Krishna was pursuing Arjun to go into the war when he was ready to escape, and she closed. The same thing happened with Emerson. When he saw Krishna was persuading Arjun to go into the war, he closed it. He could not understand that because there was no argument. How do you reach the conclusion? What is the proof? The science asks. On what premises do you declare there is consciousness? Brahma is consciousness. Aham Brahmasmi. I am ever expanding consciousness. The Upanishad didn't say anything but simply came to the conclusion, Aham Brahmasmi. The heart reaches the conclusions immediately. And when the conclusion is reached, you can create the process. First, the trust has to come. Conclusion means trust. First, the trust has to come in, then process follows. That is the meaning of theology. Mystics have reached the conclusion and theologians have reached the process. Jesus reached the conclusion, and then theologians like St. Augustine, Thomas Aquinas, they created the process. That is secondary. The conclusion has been reached. Now you have to find the proofs, the process. Proof is the life of the mystic. The proof is the words of the mystic. He cannot argue about it. He himself is a proof. If you can see it, see. If you cannot see, then there is no proof. That's why dharma is absurd. Don't make these techniques as theories. They are not. They are jumps into experience, jump into conclusions. Only this much for this morning on this sutra, and now I will take the other aspect, the Samadhi day of Lalaji, which is today. So I will speak on that. It was 92 years ago, on 14th of August 1931, Lalaji entered Mahasamadhi. It was a unique day. He was ailing for some time, and so there was a nearby natural doctor. The message was sent to him to come in. He said when he was against Lalaji, but still Lalaji sent the message for him to come and visit him. When the message reached him, he said, when the last time has come, you remembered me. And the person who carried the message related it back to him. And at this, he simply said, this humble servant is ever ready to merge in the ocean of the being. No, only God knows whose time has come. Only God knows whose time has come. And it happened. He had something to eat and he went to rest and he died. So last minute, Lalaji, despite the fact that he was against him, he gave him that experience of death. बुजुर्गों की दुआओं में वो तासीर होती है, चुटकी खाक भी दे दें तो यकसीर होती है. बुजुर्गों की दुआओं में, in the prayers of the masters, of the awakened ones, there is that energy field, that energy that even if they give empty like this, it works. But you must have trust in him. Must have trust in him, and you should be operating through the heart. Now the time was coming for his merger into the ocean of the being, the final descent. In the room, Lalaji was lying on the bed. All around were his son, Jagmohan Narayan, his nephew Brij Mohan Lal, his younger brother Raghuvar Dayal, his wife Jai Devi, and Raghuvar Dayal's wife, and Brij Mohan Lal's wife Shakuntala Devi. This incident was narrated to me many times by my grandmother. And there was the uncle master, Sheikh Maulana Abdul Ghani Khan. Lalaji said he has realized the three layers of consciousness. This consciousness is the crystallized. Everything is crystallization of consciousness. The body is the crystallization of the consciousness. It is the grossest layer. Deeper down there is the breath, which there are 5 types of breath: pran, vayan, apan, saman, udan. They have their own area from where they work, how they work, and when the life force leaves the body, how long does it take Vayan to exit, how long Udan takes to exist, and all this combined together we use one word, life, energy, or pranavayu, or gon as William Reich calls it. He started narrating. The second layer was this, third layer was consciousness. Consciousness is the witnessing realm. It is witnessing what is happening within his grossest layer of the body, at the subtle layer of the life force. How it is the consciousness which is witnessing how the life force or orgone or the energy is receding back to its source. How the pranavayu, the life force, Alan White, orgone, was receding from different parts of the body, from the gross element. He said the life force, the pranavayu, is receding from big toes. So big toes are not alive. Then he started moving from big toes to all the toes, the instep, the ankle, the entire feet, the calf, the knees, the lower thighs, the upper thighs. He was narrating each and mentioning it that life force is receding from there. Only an awakened one can realize that. And then he continued that way and giving everybody the experience of how one should enter finally in the realm of the being. As a matter of fact, this particular way I have used as an exercise for bringing relaxation in an individual. And that is done in a slightly different manner. It goes on like this. Lie down, keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. Before that, certain things are done so that one yoga posture is done. Then the energy is moving through the big toe. The big toe is relaxing. Big toe is relaxing. Relaxing. It is relaxed. Feel that big toe is relaxed. Then all the remaining toes are relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. They are relaxed now. So then in the same manner, I had done a video almost 20 years ago, Light of the Being. In that, a dark river is entering into you. This dark river represents the dark energy. The light that comes from the sun is from the dark regions of the moon, of the sun. And this dark energy is D3. It is the energy which is needed for healing. There are certain exercises for generating the dark energy within you. At times I had explained it to people, but these can only be explained through a live session or through the video sessions where somebody else is videographing while I demonstrate these. He continued explaining the life force is reaching the upper thighs, the abdomen, the lower abdomen, and he pauses at each moment, feels that energy is receding is not just a theory, it is a practical realization how the life force is receding. In the process of relaxation, You have to feel that each part of the body as it is named is pulsating with new life force as it is entering from the cosmic and in the form of cosmic energy from the cosmos, outer cosmos, from the existence. In relaxation, the life force is entering as dark energy through the big toe. Big toe is activated as the life force is entering through that. And then slowly and slowly you move to every part of the body. Lalaji was doing a different thing. It was receding, returning to its source. So its process was slightly different. That which is parinirvana or samadhi is receding in the existence. The process of relaxation entails that the same energy, the existential energy, which is not generating within you, is entering into your body. And it reaches up to this 1,000-petal center. So when it reaches there, you feel a different, the whole methodology differs than when it is receding or one is entering into samadhi. When he reached the heart center, solar plexus, it is now receding from the solar plexus, the Manipur center, the center of life through which one was connected to the cosmos, to the cosmic womb. It is receding from there. Still I am alive. Still there is aliveness, although the part of the body below the solar plexus is no more alive. Is no more alive. It is receding from there. Then, because solar plexus generates the energy and conserves the energy and distributes in the entire system, so it is receded from there. The connection between the solar plexus and the outer existence, the cosmos, the cosmic womb, or whatever you may call God, is severed. That connection is broken now. But yet still there is life. Heart center, the Anahata chakra. When he reached to the throat center, he said, now it has reached the throat center. Next, it will recede from this throat center or Vishuddha chakra or the center of expression. It is through this center two things can happen. When energy reaches there, it can go beyond or it can go below in as it begins to use in expression. Whenever someone experiences something, tremendous desire comes in an individual to share it with the people. That is the expression. So the expression should be avoided until you are given the permission and until it has settled in you in such a way that now the expression will not harm you as well as it will benefit others. Otherwise, it simply the expression is an expression of ego, ahankar. That the moment you experience something, you start sharing it with the people. That I have done this, I have achieved this, I have become this, I am that, I am this. So you begin to lose that. It has not yet crystallized in you, and until it crystallizes in you, and then your consciousness is not double arrowed. Double arrow means there is a bow and there is an arrow. The bow, one side of the bow, which is pointed, that faces the target, the other end rests on the bow. And then when you pull it, because the pointed edge remains on the metal arch, the wooden arch of the arrow, there is a particular word is used for this process. When to tie the string, you have to bend it in a particular way. The string of the bow should neither be too tight or too loose, just like it happens in musical instruments. There is a particular type of stretch. Particular word is used, and the other end of the arrow rests on the string of the bow, holding the other end of the arrow and the bow. The archer pulls it towards him, and when it is pulled towards him, he is pulling it towards him, and then his focus is on the target, and he releases it, it reaches the target. What does this mean? It means your consciousness is double arrowed. It is focused on you as well as on the target. Until that happens, your consciousness becomes double arrowed. It is dangerous to start sharing or start advertising that all that is a sign of ignorance and sign of ego. So when it reaches the center, the energy in the process of transformation, it reaches tremendous desire, comes an individual to express it. I am explaining the two processes simultaneously. Lalaji's energy is receding into its source, and a person who is in the process of transformation, it is it is evolving, going through various centers, and now it has reached 1,000 petal centers. It has reached the Vishuddha chakra or throat center, the center of expression. In the process of evolution, tremendous desire comes to express it. First, allow it to crystallize in you. Then it will have a greater impact when it is spoken. Then the third eye center, and when it reached the throat center, Lalaji said that now the energy has reached the throat center, the center of expression. Up to now, I was able to explained to you the receding of the energy from various centers, from various parts of the body. Now I will not be able to narrate it to you. This was a state of samadhi for almost everyone present there, as if they have gone into a deep trance. When the eyes opened, the life force, the consciousness, the crystallized consciousness released from the head. There was tremendous light in the room. Everyone felt that light, and that life force or soul or Atman merged into the cosmos. But before it merged, the room was filled with a light that came from no source. That came from no source. There was no source of that light. This was not a light created by any means. It just happened. This is how one enters into samadhi, into the cosmos. And the reverse process of that is the evolution. So when it reaches there, when it activates the 1,000 petal centers, one feels a state of total unexplained bliss or happiness or joy. This is nothing else but synonym with light. There is no reason for it. Why am I feeling so ecstatic? I have not won a lottery or won anything. You look at the child. Child is lying down in his cradle. He is happy for no reason. And psychologists are not able to understand this, why the child is happy lying in his cradle or in his cradle. But the mystic says the child is connected to the cosmic womb. He has not won any lottery. He has not gained anything. He is a beggar. He is helpless. He cannot do anything on his own. For every little thing, the child is dependent on the parents, yet still is happy. So when an individual attains to awakening, he is a beggar outwardly, but deep down he is an emperor, a sovereign. It happened when Buddha was staying in Sarnath. The king of Sarnath came to see Buddha, and he said, "You doesn't seem to have anything, you are a beggar. But in front of you, I am feeling that as if I am the beggar. You are the sovereign." Buddha said, "My treasure is within. Your treasure is outside. Your treasure is accumulated. My treasure is evolved from within." That's the difference between a mystic child. Someone said, I don't know who, child is the father of man. Child is the father of man. The child is happy for no reason. It is happy. It is expressing through his gestures because he is still connected to the cosmic womb and he is unconscious. A mystic is conscious, a Buddha is conscious that a change has taken place within his innerness, and because of that, he is a sovereign, he is an emperor. Outwardly, he may be a beggar. This is the way one enters into samadhi. When this process is used in a reverse manner, it brings total relaxation. Brings total relaxation. I will try. I need to have some kind of assistance in videography and a music at the background to create this kind of video so that one can use that in order to bring about relaxation deep within. Buddham sharanam gacchami. Buddham sharanam gacchami. Sangham sharanam gacchami. Sangham sharanam gacchami. Dhammam sharanam gacchami. Dhammam sharanam gacchami. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.